How's it going, everyone? It's Abdallah here, bringing you guys some more Yokai Watch 4 news on Nintendo Switch. Now, as of right now, the Level 5 company has given an announcement of a pushback for the title. And what we're going to be doing on this episode is we're going to be going over the release date, the brand new release date. We're going to talk about what goes on with a release date, why it could potentially be pushed back, an ideal date of when we'd like to see it, and then of course we're going to go over some understandings of the whole concept. So sit tight. Got a lot on my mind for this one. Alright, anyway, let's start off with showing you guys exactly the site, also linked in the description below. This is from Level 5 themselves, level5.co.jp/news, whatever news the date that is. So, May 16th, today's date of recording. Nintendo Switch software, Spectre Watch 4. Now, this is, of course, Google Translate. It's all in Japanese, so don't worry about it. So this is saying Yokai Watch 4, we're looking at the same sky, is the title, and it says Notice of Release Date Change. Alright, so Level 5 company, head of CEO Hino-san himself, is the series' latest product for Nintendo Switch software, Yokai Watch 4, looks up at the same sky, and we are reporting the change as follows. Yokai Watch 4 release date beforehand was June 6th, and now the release date is going to be June 20th, a mere 14 days after its initial release date. We plan to release it on June 6th. Yokai Watch, looking up at the same sky. We will change the release date to Thursday, June 20th, to ensure that everyone plays with a peace of mind. We apologize for any inconvenience to the users and related parties that we are waiting for, but we apologize sincerely for your understanding. All right. So that's a lot happening there, right? It's a lot happening. How do I feel about this? I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine with this. Simply because if you're going to push back a game, go for it. You know why? Because you got to make it good. Once you have a game, like, what do you want? You want a crummy game that's all buggy and not as good and then just consistently get updates to fix stuff? Because you had this mindset that someone wanted this game out on June 6th and therefore you're going to push it out, you're going to force it through? No, that's not the way it should be. But ultimately, I'm happy about this. But I'm not as happy as I should be, and we'll go into that. So let's talk about this for a second. So the history of this is June 6th, right? Now, I was pumped up for June 6th because that was a little bit before E3, the week before E3. So I was going to get like a good week over there, and then I was going to go to E3, do all that content, and then come back to Yokai Watch. I was kind of like, oh man, this is going to stink. You know, I've got to juggle both, and I love giving content for you guys, and I love wanting to play the game, but I don't like balancing too many things, right? So I was kind of upset about that, but I said, you know what, whatever, it's cool, it's a good time. The good time being that it is in the middle of June, or at the beginning of June, and Pokemon Sword and Shield will inevitably come out in November. So it's enough time for everyone to play this game and enjoy it before they all forget about it when Pokemon Sword and Shield comes out. I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm a Pokemon fan, and I am a Yokai Watch fan. I love both franchises. And I've given the metaphor of Yokai Watch being the younger brother to the older brother, which is Pokemon. You know, they've taken a lot of influences from them, and they want to be like them. So think about it like a younger brother. But now, Yokai Watch 4, the younger brother, he just comes on in and he's like, yo, take notes. Look at what I can do. And then we see these awesome trailers of how these characters are interacting. And, like, if you've seen the trailers, of course, linked in the description below, you guys can click on those videos. If you've seen the trailers and the gameplay, dude, it makes older brother look like nothing. Oh my gosh, so older brother's totally taking notes. Anyway, so, where was I even at? So, the changing it to the release date of June 20th is only 2 weeks. And if you know how developers are, and if you know exactly what it takes to get a game going with bugs and crashes and all that stuff, you'll know that it's going to take a lot more than just 2 weeks in order to get it. If it's a 2-week extension, that's saying that, oh, the game's pretty much done. We just need a couple days in order to figure small things out, and then we're ready to release it. But I don't think that that's the case. I think that there's going to be a lot more work that needs to get done. So you might be wondering also, like, who determines a release date? How does that even work, Abdallah? Well, it works hand in hand with the developer and, of course, the publisher at the same time. So, for example, if you guys remember Yokai Watch 3. Yokai Watch 3 was done. Localization team had it, and they submitted it over to Nintendo. And of course, Nintendo of America took it. Nintendo of UK took it. Nintendo of Europe took it. And of course, they all had different says of when the best release date would be. Case in point, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was about to release, and Nintendo of America said, I'm not going to release Yokai Watch 3, even though it's done. I'm not going to release it at the same time as Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. That makes no sense for us. So, consequently, we are going to release it a couple months later. Nintendo of Europe and Nintendo UK didn't really think it was that big of a deal, so they pushed it at the exact same launch date. So that's why the staggered releases kind of happened, if that makes sense to you guys. So it's ultimately up to Nintendo on when they want to release it. I think with this instance, they already talked about Nintendo like, hey, you know, we're going to release it on this day, level 5 in Nintendo. But then level 5 is like, yo, we got to fix some things. We're still working on some things, so give us a couple more weeks. And then Nintendo's like, all right, fine, you got 2 weeks, make it happen. But at the end of the day, it's really about manufacturing too. It could be like a potential reason why is it takes a lot of manufacturing to do these things. I have no doubt in Bandai's competence, because Bandai has so many factories out there that make all the toys, and with the physical variants, you're going to get a little Yokai Watch Arc, a little key NFC figure thing that you could tap in, and you're going to get some digital exclusive items. And I have no doubt that Bandai will be able to knock that out, because they got the factories to do it. They have the molds, the shapes. You can make a sticker super easy, so they'll be able to do that. But when it comes to distribution of physical games, that's Nintendo's job. It's not Level 5's job to do that. No, Level 5 will make the game, they'll do the updates and everything like that, but it's Nintendo's job to actually, you know, put the cases together, put the games inside there, distribute it out to all the retailers, and of course, that takes a lot of time and effort as well. So that could be one reason for the pushback. But overall, I think it's just development. Make it happen, Captain. There's a lot happening in this game, and I've been reading the recent Koro Koro magazine. They came out with like a 36 page little book with all this brand new information, and I got a video on that coming very soon where we translated every single page. So I've been reading on that, and there's a lot more content than we think we know. If you guys have taken a look in the description, you guys will know all of the different trailers that we've seen, and like, that's a lot, but there's still so much that we don't even know. So I can only imagine that the developers are working nonstop trying to get this game out to us, you know, fixing bugs, crashes, all that stuff. So my thing is, you know, I want them to work on it. I want them to keep on working on it, but at the same time, don't like kill your staff, you know, give them a day off, let them breathe for a little bit. Take your time with this release. We don't need it in 2 weeks afterwards. How about this? How about I say, I'm okay with you guys pushing this back to September. I'm cool with that. You know, just do it. So what do I say September? September is a good month for Yokai Watch releases. You can take a look at Yokai Watch Blasters. That was a perfect release because it was right in September, which was like the beginning of the holiday season, and you had enough time to play it before Big Brother came out with his game that he wants everyone to play. Case in point, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. So once Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee came out, like, everyone kind of stopped playing Blasters, and that was kind of like the lifespan of Blasters. Of course, people still play it, and yes, it still sells, but the peak is what I'm talking about here. So I think September would be ideal for that, because if you take a look at it, it'll be exactly like Blasters. You put it at the beginning of September, and you got a good 2 or 3 months in order to play it before, you guys guessed it, Pokemon Sword and Shield comes out inevitably in November. Of course, these are all tentative dates. Nothing's been announced yet, but if you take a look at the history of Pokemon games, it's typically November. So other than that, I mean, I think that would be an ideal time, September, if not August. Go for it. What I've got on screen over here as we'll look at it is when it comes to a release date, Nintendo really has to see what kind of games they have on the calendar and where they're going to fit them in. Like I gave you guys the Super Smash Bros. Concept. So taking a look over here at Nintendo games, man, there's so much happening. And if you're going to push back Yokai Watch to what? The 20th, 8 days before Super Mario Maker 2? That doesn't make sense. I don't see how you would do that, because Super Mario Maker 2 is ideally going to be Game of the Year. It's already running for that. Game of the Year, online Mario games, creating courses, over 100 courses within the game. It's just going to make the system this year. It's going to be so amazing. And Yokai Watch is going to attempt to compete with like Super Mario? That doesn't make sense. Like, we're all Yokai Watch fans, right? That's a small cluster of us. But no, Mario is worldwide. That's a juggernaut. So you're going to attempt to compete with the release date of Mario Maker 2. It just doesn't make business sense for me. So I'm really hoping that they push it back further because there's so much happening. Like, we can go through and talk about this, right? Astral Chain. Nintendo's pushing this little title. I don't really know too much about it, but they're really pushing it. And that's going to come out in August. Okay. So that's pretty good. What do we have over here? We got Fire Emblem Three Houses coming out in July. So ultimately, it's Super Mario Maker in June. At the end of July, we're going to go into Fire Emblem Three Houses. And then at the end of August, we're going to do Astral Chain, which Nintendo's pushing. And then, of course, there's all these other titles. I won't go into all the like indie titles. Like, I don't honestly care about those too much. But we do care about Link's Awakening, which is a Zelda title. We also do care about, I don't know if it's even listed here. Pokemon Sword and Shield, I already mentioned that. But there are games that are not even listed here. Animal Crossing on Nintendo Switch, Bayonetta 3. We also have Metroid Prime, if and when that comes out this year. There's just so much happening in this radar that Nintendo themselves, they have to say, all right, well, here's this awesome juggernaut title, which is Yokai Watch 4. You know, it's history. It's history in the making. We have to make a great impression on the Nintendo Switch so that Big Brother can take notes on it. You know what I mean? So it's so historically important that we get this right that I feel that you got to push it back a little bit. And Nintendo is going to say, here's Yokai Watch 4. Among all these titles on our calendar, where would it be best set up for success? Nintendo's not one to say, oh, you know, we like Pokemon more, so we're going to give Pokemon a priority. No, I mean, they're not one to say that. It's their platform. They want every title that comes on it to be successful. But it depends on where you're going to put it. You don't want to put so many games out. That's why Nintendo Switch at the very beginning only came out with Zelda. And then later on, it came out with Mario and your other big hitters like Mario Kart, Splatoon 2. It was perfectly spaced out. You don't want everything at one time. So it's up to Nintendo to figure out where that's going to be at. I feel the best part would be it before any E3 announcements of when Animal Crossing or Zelda Link's Awakening or Bayonetta 3 Metroid Prime, before those announcements come out, I think that September would be perfect for it. So other than that, it's really all about understanding and just being an understanding audience. Knowing that we want this game so bad, but our selfish needs should be cast aside. Some people are like, oh man, they delayed it again. That's kind of garbage. I don't like this. I've lost interest. I'm not picking it up anymore. Some people believe that, but you have to be on the right side of it and say, you know what? This is historically going to be a big thing for Yokai Watch. We want it to be the best that it possibly can be, and we're going to support it no matter what. Don't count on an English localization anytime soon because they're just kind of working things out. But who knows? Maybe we'll get it in 2020. But that's where we're going to be. And speaking of 2020, Snack World. Hey, Snack World in 2020, right? Okay. I can't wait for that game. It's going to be super fun. But anyway, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys learned a little bit more about what goes behind the scenes of a potential release date pushback. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about it. And of course, I want to discuss that with you in the comments as well. So I'll be reading all of those, and I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. I'm going to be working on the Koro scans for the 36 page little booklet that they had. So look forward to that very soon. And I just want you guys to get really excited for Yokai Watch 4 as I am. That's it. See you on the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.